So about the Duncan Williams situation.
Yes, so basically going over it again, she apparently, the son of Duncan Williams came in to see someone else, not Yvonne actually, a different...
Where? Came in where?
Came in to, I think it was an audition at the time. It was a location, a domicile sort of context, where he came with a great entourage, many people, so you could see an important person has come because there were bodyguards and there were cars and whatnot. And the person came to see someone else. But some way, somehow, he developed an interest in her and told her that he's fallen in love. She thought it was a joke because you don't know me from anywhere, how are you in love with me? But then she said that later on, he actually showed that he was serious about it because he used to take her out on dates and they had something that apparently to him was a relationship. And then he evinced the interest to marry her, the intent actually to marry her. She hadn't confirmed that.
Which year was this?
This was 2009.
2009. That's a year before the Saturday episode.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Yeah.
2009. But how old would Joel be in 2009? I don't know. This is very complicated. Again, viewers, we have to remind you that these are the views of Yvonne Nelson. These are not by no means our views. We do not necessarily agree with what she's saying, but we're just discussing it as a matter of public interest. 2009, if the guy is 30 years now, 2009 is about how many years ago? Even if it's 33. 2009, so 1019 to 2009 is 10 years. If you add 20, 21, 22, 23, 4. So that's 14 years ago. So if he's 30 today, he was 16. If he's 35 today, he was 20. And Yvonne herself in 2009 was 24, wasn't it?
2009, yes.
She was 24. She was 25 in 2010. And she says this happened in 2009?
Yes, and he came and was like, I'm in love with you, and then indicated I would marry you. And then right after that, this was the strange issue that came. Perhaps if she would have agreed or not agreed, this caused problems. He said that before they go ahead with marriage, he would want her to go meet his father so he can pray for her, to take out any potential evil spirits from her. Because she's in the entertainment industry, and to many conservative people, that industry is a bit problematic because you have dancing. She was in Miss
Again, let me come back to the why. I mean, this is not a victim story. It's not. It's not a victim story. It's not at all. She's not been victimized, she's not been maltreated, she's not been abused, she's not been... I mean, there's nothing in this story. So what's she telling us? Because she's gone on to have a child. Joel Duncan Williams has gone on to have a marriage and a child. Why is she telling us?
The answer to that would be in the foreword, where it says, Adom-Otchere is quoted, if you don't like how people tell your story, tell your own story. Basically, you don't like how the narrative is, frame it yourself.
Yeah, but there's no story that's out there that you are correcting.
True.
This is nothing that out there you are correcting. You are giving us information.
So that's
what's the point? So there's no victimization. I mean, if you're saying that this is what he did, he maltreated me, he did that, then that's a victim story that we all need to be careful, because we don't want our society having people who feel victimized one way or the other. But this is not a victim story.
Some people would disagree with your definition and characterization of victimization, because she said, a big, powerful man has come to me, says, I love you. You are always compelled to go along.
In the most likely circumstances, she's older. In the most likely circumstances, she's older. So the issue about a big, powerful man, that's not really all right. No, she's older.
But the man had social currency because he came with a motorcade. He came with bodyguards. He had pull.
I don't even know whether that is true.
That's what she said anyway, according to her.
Yeah, that's 2009.
Yes.
Wow.
That he came with all that, and then he says, well, we are getting this thing married. And then she went into the broader issue of how there's the social chauvinism, that a man feels entitled to a woman's time.
About how many weeks did she then say, I'll marry you and take me to her father? It all looks
It didn't last. It actually didn't last too long.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm not sure, but I don't think that's possible. Joel Duncan Williams is going to see 2009. I don't know.
The other dimension to this issue, I was going to mention it earlier, is how he said that you need to go meet my father so he can pray to cast out the evil spirits from you. But then she comments, in her mind, didn't actually say it. Why is it that you don't think that you should also come so my mother prays and cast out the spirits from you? Why is it that I'm the one who is unclean and has to be purified? Is my mother not spiritual enough also that you should come seek her spiritual approval? So it's almost as though the man is the one in the position of power, and then the woman has to now come and then...
I get it. So that sort of hurts her.
Yes, and that's the feminist perspective
in terms of she being put out as if you don't have a choice. I'm taking you and you have to follow this path. Yes. Otherwise, you don't get it. So when she hasn't asked for anything. So, I get it.
So feminist critical scholars would jump on this and then expand it broadly and go into larger issues of the social and the patriarchy and then this and it's a very serious. That's why I say people would disagree with your characterization of victimhood, because to some people this is major victimization.
I get it. Okay. So what does she put any commentary on the back of this story? Does she say anything, or she just leaves it like that?
Well, so as I said, when she narrates this issue, she moves into the broader issue of social chauvinism. If you want, I can read a section of it.
Yeah, what does it say?
So she says, he paid me a visit one evening with the usual princely entourage that had only seen in movies of non-state officials. When the howling of his motorcade siren had adequately announced to the neighborhood that my household had received an important somebody, he came in and announced his plans. He said, before the marriage would proceed, I had to go to his father to be prayed for. The purpose of that prayer was to ensure that whatever demons or evil spirits were present in me or my family line would be cast out. In my head, I asked whether he didn't think my mother also needed to pray to cast out any potential bad spirits in him. Being the son of Archbishop Duncan Williams didn't necessarily mean he was inhabited by the Holy Spirit and guarded by angels. And who told him that being an actress meant that I was a harbinger of malevolent spirits?
I get an interesting point. Why didn't she tell him these things? Why did she say it in her head and it's telling us in the book? Why did she tell her, hey, look, Chief, wait. You two come to see my mother for prayer. I'm not going to see your father for prayer. What are you talking about? Apparently, from what you're reading, she didn't do that.
Maybe she
wanted to be nice. Did she feel intimidated by a younger person?
She didn't specify, but then the way she describes herself through the narrative, she never comes across as someone who can be intimidated. Because she said even when her older brother was beating her in the house, she would never let her spirit be quenched. Even in senior high school, when the seniors were upset with her, she was always like this vociferous, fiery person. So I don't think she felt intimidated. Maybe she wanted to be nice and not say it, or she didn't think it was necessary to comment. But she didn't, I didn't see anything.